Our last story tonight is about one of the biggest money-making machines in fashion, the Met Gala. It was held this week at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. 400 A-listers showed up from the world of fashion, movies, music and business. Most stars brought their A game, not necessarily in terms of fashion, but ludicrousness. One singer had to be lifted and brought up the stairs because she could not walk in what she was wearing. Another wore what looked like a mosquito net. Stars attended this big party in bizarre outfits. Yet together, they raised $26 million for the museum's Costume Institute, once again proving the Met's complete disconnect from the outside world. Here's a report.
This week, the world tuned in to dissect the Met Gala. It was held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Who attended it? All kinds of A-listers. Billionaire businessmen, fashion icons, movie stars, singers, reality stars, and so on. About 400 guests were in attendance. This was one of the most elite fashion events of the year. But it was also a buffet of baffling outfits, as it usually is. Of course, we aren't talking about the male stars. They did what they do best, which is show up in a black tux. Underwhelming to say the least. But some celebrities got innovative and took inspiration from household items. Singer Lana Del Rey showed up in a mosquito net, and Rita Ora was in a ribbon curtain. Meanwhile, South African singer Tyla showed up wearing sand. Yes, sand, and well, crystals, because that addition makes it haute couture. Except she couldn't walk. She had to be lifted and carried up the stairs. But this wasn't the only buzzworthy moment that trapped our attention, pun intended. Because Ed Sheeran got stuck in FKA Twigs' noodle dress. Most of all, there were lots of florals, power poses and memes. Well, why wouldn't there be? One star looked like she was visiting her barber. Celebs went all out with their creativity. But if you're a fan, don't take the harsh comments to heart. These moments did seem bizarre, but maybe that's what fashion is. In fact, the gala was less about the absurdity of it all and more about the unmet expectations at the Met. This year, the theme was the Garden of Time, based on J.G. Ballard's 1962 short story. It's a haunting piece about power and status. It's a biting commentary on the ruling class. It talks about keeping the real world at bay. Not only did fashionistas take the theme literally by wearing florals, how groundbreaking some would say, they also proved once again that the Met refuses to acknowledge the outside world. And at the end of the day, it's less about fashion and more about money. This year's event raised about $26 million. Where will this money go? To the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. This is a $4 million increase over last year's total and more than double what the event raised a decade ago. While that happened outside the museum, protesters criticized the event as a distraction from the war in Gaza. And the night before, organizations held the Debt Gala. People wore feather boas, bathrobes, even styled pajamas and raised money for organizations that relieve medical debt. Maybe it's time the Met Gala gets honest. It should openly accept that this event is just a money-making machine. It doesn't care about the real world and it doesn't even care about fashion. Because if it did, well, people wouldn't be showing up in wet t-shirts.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.